the Johnny Rocket Launchpad. And now, here's Johnny.
It's Johnny Rocket here at the Launchpad, launching ideas in your direction. And here it is. Kurt, Heather.
Yeah.
Yes.
The moment we have all been waiting for.
Oh, are we going to do it?
We're going to do it, man.
Right
We're going
on,
to play
man.
you guys the interview that only happens once in a lifetime.
That's right. It was your dream come true.
It was one of my dream come true.
It was exciting, too. You know, we also, we had to kind of hunt him down. And
We had to hunt
and
this
we had to
guy
talk
down.
to, what was his name again, Bill?
Tom Ham.
Tom, yeah.
I had
We
to,
talk-
I had to schmooze him. Hi, yes.
But
We're
even
a
then-
local podcast talking about libertarian ideals.
Yeah, and he's like, what's your demographic? Stoners?
Working class, blue collar, fucking, I don't know, gun owners, I don't know. Whoever listens at WCC Radio.
No, but even then, Tom was like, yeah, right on, let's do it. So he's around here somewhere, and we're like,
Yeah, he was
running
jogging
around,
or
we're
some
running
bullshit.
around the whole
He
place
said he
looking
was-
for him, like,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
It was exciting. It was a build-up for us, too.
And
It
then they
was.
said it was off, and then all of
Yeah.
a sudden,
What was we were in the front room in the
in the bar.
No, we were in the front, right in front of the actual convention area.
Near the bar.
No, in between the bar and the convention area.
Around the bar?
By the front door.
Somewhere close to the bar.
No. We were with Billy, so we were not at
That's
the bar.
right. That's right.
So what ended up happening is I go up I see Gary Johnson. I'm like, dude, we talked to Tom and we wanted to know if you get a couple minutes. All we need is about 10 minutes. We have a studio upstairs in the hotel. Can you give us a couple minutes for a real quick interview? We'd really appreciate it. We're young, inspiring podcasting, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, you know what? I like to stick around the convention that I attend. I'm sorry about that. I'm like,
After being gone for 2 hours.
Right. I know. I was so let down when he said that.
so I looked
I
at
was like,
Billy and he's
"Aw."
like, that's a nice way of saying no.
Yeah, totally.
I'm like,
totally.
yeah.
You guys are fucked.
So then we went to the bar.
And then we went to the bar.
Tearing my beer.
Yeah, and I was just like, fuck. And then we went back to the convention area.
Well, you did.
I did. And then
I was still in the bar.
you were still in the bar, and I said, and all of a sudden Gary Johnson was like, hey, you know what? I've been thinking, let's go ahead and do that interview now. I'll be right back. And I gathered you guys. I'm like running around. But here's the deal. My speech was in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So we only had fucking 20 to 15 minutes into the speech. I'm like, fuck. So I'm running around the hotel gathering Kurt, Heather. I'm like, get the gear going. We got to move.
By this time, Heather and I are still in the bar. We're trashed.
That's right. I was ordering doubles at that point.
No, you guys were not.
Yes, I was. I totally had a double, which I took out of the bar and took up to the interview.
I did too. I didn't
Yeah, we
and
all
it
did.
turns
We
out
all
later
did.
you were not supposed to do that, I don't think.
I grabbed my drink, but I left your coat and yelled to Roberta, watch the coat.
Right. That's true. I remember that.
Yeah,
now.
in fact, I think you put a 50 on the table and you're like, pay for the drinks. And we just ran the fuck out of it.
Yeah, we ran upstairs. So we sat down. We got Gary Johnson in the hotel room. It was great. Interview with him. Awesome speaker. We really enjoyed his time.
He was hilarious.
He was really funny. He was great. We hit it off really well, and it was really an honor to have him on the show.
And you know what I have to say too, that the way he handled that was like, hey, you know what? I'm just going to throw this thought out there.
Right.
And that's all I have to say about it.
Yeah,
I
and
thought
then-
it was really smart. And
he walked away and
Yeah.
let me mill it and go, fuck it. But anyway, so the moment you guys have been waiting for, our interview with Governor Gary Johnson here at the Johnny Rocket Launchpad. Hey, it's Johnny Rocket here at the Launchpad, launching ideas in your direction in the 42nd Annual Libertarian Summit here in Washington State. And we have a very, very, very special guest, Governor Gary Johnson. Well, you know what, Gary, you've been Governor. You've been one of my heroes. I've watched. I'm a big fan of John Stossel, you and Ron Paul.
I am too. I love Stossel.
Oh, he's great.
Of course, I love Ron Paul.
Yeah, I know that you've. This is just an absolute honor. I have a couple questions for you, just kind of vague questions. Great. Do you think the libertarian? I know this is kind of a vague question, but in a sense, do you think Libertarian Party has the chance? Is the best choice right now? I know that you originally ran as a Republican.
Well, unquestionably, it's the best choice. But does that equate to winning elections? I don't know. I mean, it hasn't happened yet. I hope it happens. But maybe more significant than winning elections, if you look at the issues that libertarians have been pushing for a long time, marijuana legalization, guess what?
Totally.
It's happening. And it happened here in Washington State. And I'm here to thank everybody in Washington State for making that happen. When you look at marriage equality, you know what? That's been a libertarian issue from day one. And when you look at military intervention, the fact that, look, only time our military should intervene is if we're attacked.
Exactly.
And just recently, really, the president, Congress, they are ready to go into Libya. They're ready to go in. They're just going to meet and they're going to dot the I's and cross the T's. And along comes an opinion poll that 80% of Americans don't want to see this happen. Well, that's libertarian. So when people understand that libertarian is all about being a classical liberal, which is I always tell people I'm a flaming liberal when it comes to civil liberties, and I'm as conservative as it comes when it comes to dollars and cents.
I'm a stout.
I think that's reflective of most Americans and the way they view the world.
Absolutely. I absolutely agree. And so if you had the ideal America, Governor, what kind of vision do you see for the ultimate American society in your mind? I mean, the utopia of the way we should be. I know there will never be an absolute utopia, but...
Well, just the simple notion that you and I should be able to live our lives the way we see fit, as long as those decisions don't adversely affect others. And that's and using, just get back to pot as an example. For those people that don't want to have anything to do with pot, fine. But you or I, if we decide we want to consume some marijuana, it's okay, as long as we're not going to put other people in harm's way. So that would include getting in a car and driving under the influence. And right now, that's a huge issue.
It's a big issue.
Because 5 nanograms has been established as impairment or DUI, and in no way, shape, or form is 5 nanograms impairment. Right. I don't know what impairment is, but,
sure.
We go back to Rinaldi, Lance Rinaldi, the Canadian Olympic snowboarder, wins a gold medal in the giant slalom snowboard, and he tests over 5 nanograms.
Right.
Gee, so is impairment consuming pot and going out and winning a gold medal? And thank goodness he was not stripped of his gold medal.
Right.
They said he could have gotten it from secondhand smoke. Well, I happen to know that that's impossible.
Right.
But
I mean,
he should never. That should never even be a consideration.
Right.
That level of marijuana is. I mean, this is supposed to be. It is not a performance enhancer.
No, by any means. Neither is alcohol.
And maybe for Lance it is.
Right.
But that opens up a whole nother discussion.
Sure.
Fantastic. No, but I couldn't agree with you more. And the thing is, it's a money-making thing, really. I mean, I think the DUI thing is kind of ridiculous because you can have somebody like her who has one drink and she's blasted. Or you can have somebody like Kurt and me. We could put down 3 or 4 beers and we're fine,
Well, let me use another example too of libertarian thought. When it comes to driving and when it comes to laws that we pass, all the laws that we pass have everything to do with preventing reckless driving.
Right.
And so what we do is we pass laws for speed limits.
Right.
Well, guess what? And you all know this, and this is very libertarian. 75-mile-an-hour speed limit. At a given time during the day, you could be driving 125 miles an hour safely. At another time during the day, you could be driving 45 miles in that same 75-mile-an-hour zone, and it's reckless driving, depending on the time of day. So this is what happens. And I think one of the fundamental litmus tests of being a libertarian is when you see that no U-turn, and there's nobody around. Nobody around.
That's ridiculous.
You're a libertarian when you make that U-turn. When you come to that stoplight and you stop in the middle of the night and nobody's around,
and it will not turn
come on.
green.
That's a libertarian litmus
Exactly.
test. You keep on going.
Yeah, there's just certain things that annoy me and it kind of irritate me is like the click it or ticket things.
Oh boy.
And it's
my
just like,
goodness.
really, come on. I mean, like, I have a choice. I put a seatbelt on. To me, I'm like, yeah, I want to be safe when I'm driving, but it shouldn't be forced. And it's just a way that the state can make money.
It shouldn't be forced, and the fact that taxpayer dollars are being spent on billboards and advertisements, click it or ticket.
Roger.
I want to stick my finger up my throat.
Right.
Really.
Much like the helmet laws.
Yeah.
Well, and here's what I have to say about helmet laws. Okay, I got a motorcycle, and I got all our body armor, and I wear a helmet. And let me tell you, in New Mexico, and all across the country, there are organ donor shortages. And if you make helmets mandatory, what you end up doing is you end up limiting organ donor. So there's a consequence to everything. Okay?
Fantastic analogy. There is organ donor. We need them. Help us out.
Organ donors,
Yeah.
help us out.
So I
ride
should've-
that scooter. And I love the guys riding their motorcycles with their helmets attached to the motorcycle. Those are the smartest guys in the world because why wear a helmet if you're not going to get in an accident? These are smart guys. Just an observation. I'm not going to get in an accident, so here's the helmet. And,
You're fine. You're
yeah,
fine.
Right.
You're good. We'll just thin out the gene pool. We need to get,
So we're here at the Libertarian Convention in Washington State. How do you see that Washington State's doing as far as the libertarian movement in the party?
Well, it really tip of the spear, and I have to come back to marijuana. You've voted to legalize marijuana, and I know that there are a lot of issues that have to get resolved, but I'm confident that these issues are going to get resolved, and I think you have created the tipping point. Along with Colorado, you've created the tipping point, and I think it's a 10-year phenomenon. Maybe there will be a handful of states in 10 years that haven't legalized marijuana. But here's the phenomenon that's going to happen, and I realize it hasn't actually been implemented in Washington State. But the phenomenon that's happening right now is that people are actually going to Colorado for the weekend.
All right.
Right.
And planes are full. People are,
Just saying.
Baltimore.
It is a destination.
Planes are full going to Denver on a Friday afternoon, coming back on a Saturday afternoon. And here's what people are saying when they go back to. They're saying, you know what? I went out to Colorado and I consumed. Because you got this big wide choice now, edibles or smoking.
Right.
I consumed some marijuana, and you know what? It was very pleasant. And so this is the phenomenon that's occurring right now. And Washington State can take real credit for that. So how's the libertarian movement going in Washington State? It's the tip of the spear. Thank you very much.
Right on.
Thank you. And Governor Gary Johnson, thank you very much for coming here. I know you have time, you have things you got to do, but we want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts for coming on the launch
Yes,
pad.
thank
It means
you.
a lot
Thank you
to
very
us.
much.
Fun. This is
And-
great fun. Thank
And
you.
you know what? And this is what we're doing. We're speaking to like the blue collar people. This is what our show's kind of about. It's about the hard punk rockers, the rock and rollers, people who don't get into politics, but something that they can relate to. And this is what our message is. And that's what we're trying to bring to these people.
I see it. I see it in all of you, and thank you.
Thank you very much,
you.
sir.
All right.
Thank you very much. This is Johnny Rocket Launchpad, launching ideas in your direction. We'll be right back.
Are you interested in getting the word out about your business, band, or upcoming event? The Johnny Rocket Launchpad broadcast is the place to share your message. Shoot us an email at johnnyrocketlaunchpad.com to discuss how we can help you boost your business.
The Johnny Rocket Launch Pad. And now, here's Johnny.
Johnny Rocket here at the Launchpad, launching ideas in your direction. Wow, what a killer interview. Man, that was honorable right there.
It
Bam.
was. And
We
just
did
what-
it. We fucking did it, guys.
What a great guy, too, man.
Wow. What a cool 20th episode tonight, man. We just heard a whole bunch of cool speeches, from a recap from one of the most important days of my life. It was like kind of like graduation.
You know, it was also kind of fun to go back over and think about all our old guests and
Yeah, totally.
how,
I really enjoyed every guest we've had on here has been great. I
Yeah,
mean,
me too.
What's great about the libertarians here in Washington State, though, I've just noticed that, we all have the same vision. We all have the same mentality. We all have the same goal. Our priorities are different. You have a guy like Nick Kunkel. He's all about the salmon. And then you got a guy like, Alan Acosta. You know, he's all about chicken wings and motorcycles.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it all works out, you know, but we just have different priorities. Mine would definitely be property rights.
But ultimately, all of them, I think their first and foremost is liberty.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, the basics. I was like, I think I mentioned last week the conversation with my mom, and my mom's like, "Oh, you guys want to legalize drugs and all this stuff?" I'm like, "No, Mom, we want less government in our lives."
Yeah, totally.
You know,
no, we don't need it in everything in our lives. And
not all libertarians are
or
for
pot smoking,
right? It's
fucking gun owners,
tin hat wearing.
I don't own a gun, and I don't smoke pot.
I don't either.
Stay away from us booze drinkers.
Right. The whole point is, though, is that's not what libertarians are all about. It's
all
not
about-
just a bunch of pot smokers. It's
No.
not just a bunch of gun
Absolutely.
rights activists.
No. And I encourage everyone to own a gun if you want to buy one and go through the proper channels and get yourself a gun and be responsible with it. But at the same time, I don't own one, not because I don't want one. But what I'm saying is we have some good people. We have good people who are supporting the show, good people who have been on the show.
Mm-hmm.
We want to say thank you guys very much for standing by with the Launchpad. But I would sell it, and if they said, "Hey, Johnny, you can't say fuck anymore." Okay.
Oh, that's inevitable.
Oh, totally. I could do it. I've been training myself.
When we get syndicated,
Yeah, it will happen.
that's going to be
It
the
will
end
totally
the end of the saying fuck every night
yeah.
days.
But I can have my outtakes, and that will be on a podcast.
Yeah, and we can have that special guy that's on the other side of the glass that like runs the beep.
Yeah, totally.
You know, that's just like we're on a little bit of a delay or whatever,
Absolutely.
and that guy hits his gig to go beep.
Yeah, I think that's what we need to happen, and I think it's going to be fun. And I just want to keep the ideas going. And my plan is to just keep creating a visual element to the show with us around our table.
Totally, I can't wait to get that going.
Yeah, me too, man. I think it's going to be fun. I am Johnny Rocket at the Launchpad, launching ideas in your direction. I am here with my co-host, Mr. Kurt Nelson.
Yes, sir.
Heather Nixon.
Yes.
Thank you very much for celebrating our 20th episode with us. Thank you guys very much for listening. We'll see you next week, and rock and roll from the Johnny Rocket.